Hello peeps, Jordan is Great 505 here. So I guess I wanted to show off that I actually did something for Five Nights at Fredbear's free. It's been a while since I did a devlog because I haven't worked on the game that much because I've just been busy with stuff. I've only done the cutscenes. I've been mostly in Source Filmmaker and doing commissions in the ARC mods. But I added the mask feature. So the mask feature lets you go around, and I decided to add this because it was in Fredbear's 2, but it wasn't executed well, and I wanted to improve it here. So, as an example, I pressed the wrong key. No, See, if they see you, you can't actually use it on them anymore. But as I've been making AI improvements and such, so the key to actually use it is X, and you see I take damage when I use it. And as you can see, we have it on. And Fredbear doesn't notice us now. Now, you may think, oh, this is overpowered, they can't see you anymore. Until you notice that. Because what happens is that toxic meter comes. The mask is toxic as it's rotting. And it starts flashing green, and you slowly start taking damage. Now, I might increase damage, I might not, but the point is that, I don't have a flash. The point is that it's kind of a defense mechanism, because, like, oh, you can do that, but because before, you had no defense against the animatronics, because it was a free-roam environment, because you'd have to, like, go on tables and stuff, and, you know, it's not really, you know, fun. It's not really a way to get rid of the animatronics. But yeah. So if you're wondering whose mask it is, it's actually Rotten Golden Bonnie's, which is something I thought would make the cool mechanic. See, you wouldn't be screwed in a situation like this now because look. But you do take damage every time you use it because, and I'll explain why later. But yeah. But yeah, so this is Rotting Golden Bonnie's thing. Okay, that's a bug. I don't know, I'll see if I can fix that, but even if I can't, just press X again if you want it to go away. It's not that big of a deal. So what we can do now, so I want to show this off. So even though, like I said, well, in the last devlog, I showed off how I made AI improvements. And some of the AI improvements I did make were that if an animatronic can't reach you anymore, they'll go back into their normal walking state instead of, you know, kind of like. So if they can't, like, get to you anymore, they'll eventually just give up and go back to walking. So you can actually lose pursuits now. And also, there's an animation here for when you lift up the mask and stuff. So yeah, you can kill yourself by doing that, unfortunately. So, I'll show you the reason. So the mask is actually linked to a damage trigger right here, and with Horror Engine, damage triggers are triggered every time you enter the trigger. So if you enter the trigger, it damages it. It doesn't wait for a delay. If it was for an overlap trigger, but if it was for an overlap trigger, it would damage you right as it gets the call to do it after 15 seconds, which means that even if you took off the mask, you'd still get damaged 15 seconds later. So, let me show you how this all works. So, everything with the mask is called here. Every time you press X, right here, let me zoom this up. Every time you press X, it flip-flops. So, it sets the sensing inverter of any of the animatronics with the thing on the map. So, this way, I can actually set it so that Golden Foxy doesn't get hit. Now, I did want to include a feature that if you do this like 3 times with another animatronic, it would like send them in a rage mode. But I'm gonna have to tweak that a bit because I don't think I can make it work with this setup. And even though it's cool to have unique AI and all, I just think, I don't know, I just don't, it just seems like too much work to add, and even though I wanted to do that, it's just like, I'm just trying to get the game done, and, so I apologize for that. But essentially what happens is their sensing invertal set to 0, which means they can't see you anymore because they don't have an invertal to sense. And it's set back to the default. For all animatronics have a sensing invertal of 0.5 milliseconds. Or no, seconds. 0.5 seconds. And what happens is when you press X, it actually enables the collision of the damage trigger. And what that does, it lets you take damage. Because on default, it's by default, it's just off. As you can see right here. And there's also a post-process. I kind of ended up not doing that. But how does the whole entire mask work, you may be wondering? Well, it's actually like this. It's just the Golden Bonnie mask. And I was going to have the ears and teeth, but when that's inside, what happens, I'll show you what happens. It just doesn't, the teeth kind of have, I forget the definition, but if you look at it, at the teeth, they look glitchy from the inside. They're not actually attached to anything or floating. So essentially, as you can see, all of the meshes for the features here are inside. And if we go to Invent Graph here, and I have this invent play so that the toxic animation is set by invisible by default. And this is the same thing. If you flip-flop, you get the Freddy's 2 mask sound. It plays the animation for the mask to go down, which I actually animated in Blender over here. Actually, I actually just took I think this is the Coolio art, Unwithered Bonnie, and I just took it and I exported the selected, and that way it just gave you a mask animation. Actually, no, I don't think that works, so I ended up doing it in Unreal Engine. Yeah, no, that's what I did. So it does that, and then it has a delay till it goes to the toxic animation to start popping up, and the reason it's 15 seconds is because 15 seconds is when you start to take damage. But it's only I don't know, because what I'd like to do is that, when it gets to 15 seconds, it starts hitting you every, 3 seconds with 5 damage. But the problem is a lot of the horror engine stuff, the template I used to make this game, I can't really figure out how to use it in the graphs. So I'm trying my best here, so for now it's kind of overpowered. I mean, the most I can do is a band-aid fix where I kind of just am like, okay, here's 10 damage, for example. That's enough. So use your mask wisely, I'd rather it be the other way, but I can't figure it out right now. And if it works well right now and people don't mind it, then what's the point in, trying to find a way to improve it when you're just trying to get the game done at this point? Because a lot of people want the game done, and for when I get to bring them Eternal Rest, I'll eventually improve these systems. That's what I think I have been planning to do, because I just feel like it's better if I just improve everything there, and try and, I want to try out small first and improve later, That's kind of always what I've been like, because I feel like you just want to test it out first and, then see what people think, and then, fix it up for the next game. Yeah, so as I was saying, it sets the visibility, and it also does the sound and plays the animation. And that's how that works. And, yeah, so for each night, each map, I have to actually go to each map and select all of this. Actually, am I doing? Yeah, I have to select all of this, copy it over, set the animatronics that have to be set, you know. I don't have to do this post-processing anymore, and actually... So I have to set the damage so it works. So, from what I'm thinking is that some challenge nights don't actually have the mask, because some of them don't really need it when you have doors. And the mask might actually break some of the bosses, so... To fix that, I actually made a copy of the Horror Engine character. Just like I do with Five Nights at Chica's. Go to core. Right here. So you have two. And doing this, you can also set different sounds, different voices for the character. For, like, different hurt sounds, different walk sounds. And that way you can, like... what's the word? You can pretty much just make it so that the character... You can pretty much change the hurt sounds. So if I wanted it to be a female or male, you can do that. And that's what I did with Five Nights at Chica's, too, as I... You know, if you played the game and you've played the mini-games, you know that the mini-game characters have different voices for when they get hurt. Yeah. And then I have to set it up here. But yeah, so it's going to be a tedious process because I'm just going to go through First, I'm just going to go for the main nights, and I'll go for the salvage nights, which I actually have to change them up a bit, too. And then I have to make copies of the main nights because I need to, like... I need to do that because I need to have versions for the shadow animatronics. I know you could probably fucking code them in for events, but it's easier for me if I just make a separate map. That's the exact same as this one, but it has different events on it. Also, but this is what the game looks at like on the outside. But as you can see, it's actually missing a lot. Well, it's actually... It goes on the streak here. And that's because the outside maps are actually different than the inside maps. Yeah. So yeah, I thought I'd show this whole systems off just to give an update. Because now I have to go through each night because I'm pretty happy with the system so far. I mean, unless someone can give me a solution for the damage thing, I'm happy with it right now. I think this is pretty good and decent. It'll give players a way to get around animatronics and some resource management, you know. Because I think it'll be much more funner than jumping on tables the whole time. So yeah. I'll see how it works. It's not exactly as I intended. I also have to make it... I need to make... Golden Bonnie's AI different here, so that when he actually does see you, it actually does disable your mask. And that's what I have to figure out. I mean, who knows? Maybe I can figure that out for the other animatronics. I don't know. I guess that was the whole purpose of the rage mode, that if they saw you, they wouldn't be fooled by it, but at the same time, that'd just be Golden Bonnie's mechanic, so... I don't know. I think I'll limit it to Golden Bonnie. But yeah. I'm going to add these nights soon. I just got to make dinner now. So thank you all for watching me ramble about this nonsense. I hope it's actually entertaining. I don't want to make a full... Like, here's the reason I'm not editing this. It's because I don't want to make a full edited video I don't want to be like Yandere Dev, where... He spends all this frickin' time editing videos instead of working on the actual game. Like, spending hours editing this. Like, it's not worth it when I could be spending those hours working on the game. And I could also be spending the 14 minutes I spent recording this working on it, but at least that's less time spent than spending hours editing it and showing everything in a professional manner. I'm not very professional. So yeah. Anyways, I think these frickin' sort of... I don't know. I'll see you later. Goodbye. Thank you for watching.